Well, hello there, everybody. UXW Bill, Bizarre Furhead, and the Key Keeper all here today. Well, he's a bit underexposed and therefore difficult to see. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if this poor Jeep Wrangler, Furhead's poor 1998 Jeep Wrangler with the 4-liter inline-6 engine and a 3-speed automatic transmission, can possibly live again after its unfortunate adventure in the Badlands Off-Road Park of Attica, Indiana. Now, Furhead has already flushed the transmission once on this Jeep, and we do know that once again it moves under its own power. That's the good news. You're kind of hard on your container lid here. Oh man.
Oh, that'll buff out.
But he was driving it around town, and it started to have some difficulty. While he was just working the replacement transmission fluid through it, he dropped the pan once again and found some more evidence of both water and sand infiltration issues. So he's doing yet another transmission fluid flush here in the hopes of cleaning the system a little further out. And in a moment he's going to take it for a test drive, and we'll just have to see if in fact this poor Jeep of his can live once again.
Well, if you don't, he's buying me a whole new one. Or a rebuild transmission. One of the two. I haven't decided yet. It requires a coin flip.
Is she in the gear? Neutral? It started to roll backwards a little bit.
Probably just hitting the parking pin.
Poor Jeep.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Well, either your battery's a little low or your starter's dragging. The engine's running, sounds good at least. Still needs to be cleaned up.
When your vehicle isn't feeling good and it's shifting off the rough, just take Dr. Eric's Sea Elixir. It works good for humans and cars.
Is it available at Stereo Dust Particles?
It is.
Okay,
10% off.
I imagine he'll take off about that many brain cells if he drinks it.
Only use about 1/4 of a can. Oh, half a can. Another bottle.
There was another thing that happened to surface when they drove this thing for the first time the other night. The warning indicator was illuminated in the instrument panel, and they noticed that it wasn't charging the battery. Now, it appears to be doing a little bit of battery charging now, but certainly is not as much as I'd expect it to. So hopefully they haven't damaged the alternator as well. I'm really hoping that when they get things cleaned up under hood,
Does this sound like a good alternator?
the various belt-driven accessories will start to function better than they had been. But now, in order to avoid having a little bit of a demolition derby, I've got to go ahead and move some things out of the way. I really cannot for the life of me comprehend why they simply did not pull their vehicles up into our mud bog, aka the driveway, during dry weather, instead of parking them at angles, because there was certainly room to do that. But I guess I'm just the guy with the video camera. What would I know? Okay, Furhead, let me ask you, do you have a good feeling about this?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, let's hope. There we go, it went into gear at least. Still definitely making some funny noises. I believe we have a cheering section over in the Grand Marquis seats. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna do a burnout? He better not. Nope, he's just taking it nice and easy. Those aren't exactly the cheap seats you're riding around in. Oh yeah, it's definitely still making all manner of fun noises. Looks like you made it around the block at least. Woo! Gotta do some work on your brakes there, Chief.
Yeah, it's in my drum. That's gonna be fun.
Sounded like it was coming from the front. Are you sure?
Yeah, it's my rear passenger drum.
Okay.
How'd you do? You wanna go 2 blocks?
Who's gonna win this little race that you guys are setting up here?
Apparently he is. That's a drive-by 2-car passing.
It was a random Impala drive-by, that's for sure. I'm lucky he didn't run over my toes.
Here, come on. Go.
Keykeeper's getting a little impatient there. Of course, he has only 2 speeds when he's driving, moving and not. Okay, now to pick up from where we were last night. It's the next day, and the Jeep is looking better. Unfortunately, I'm afraid to say that it is in terms of appearance only. Did a couple more transmission fluid flushes and filter changes the other night, and then Furhead took it out to the car wash. The transmission shuddered after just a little bit of driving on the way to the car wash, and then he changed the fluid and filter again. Decided to take it out on a quiet country road with me following along in my truck. And out on the country road, it was revealed that there are some fairly serious problems. The transmission would never go out of second gear. The torque converter wasn't working at all properly, wasn't locking up. And when he turned around and went back into town, he lost all range of gears, I think both forward and reverse. I know the forward gears were a goner for sure, and I don't think it had reverse either. There was just nothing going on whatsoever. And there's been a little more disassembly of the transmission done today, and as you can see, the news is not looking very good at all. Clearly there is just more sand and garbage inside this thing than any of us really anticipated, and it doesn't look like the filter saved the day, unfortunately. My dad pointed out that it looked like the kick-down cable linkage. Isn't that just an amazingly beautiful, intricate mechanism? All those pathways for fluid to flow through. And I get a little bit distracted by that. My dad pointed out that the cable for the throttle-based kick-down mechanism on this vehicle appears to be completely unshielded on its way into the transmission, and he's wondering if in fact that's not how the majority of this unfortunate damage looked to have taken place. But it appears that the transmission in the Jeep may be well and truly pooched. We also have another interesting problem that's manifesting itself. In the instrument cluster, at random periods of time, the charging gauge will drop all the way down to its lowest value right down there by the 9, as you can see. And the warning indicator to check your gauges will also illuminate, but a voltmeter applied to the battery shows that no such thing is taking place, that evidently there is some kind of a disconnect going on between what's really happening and what the instrument cluster says is going on. I'm not sure what would cause that. I don't know if this Jeep, it's a 1998 model, would actually be new enough to have electronically controlled gauges, or if the gauges are actually connected to what they're measuring, or it could even be a hybridized approach for all I know. But that is the sad saga of Furhead's Jeep so far. It looks like a transmission rebuild, if not an outright replacement, is definitely going to be in his future, sorry to say. So thank you for watching, and feel free to leave a comment if you have one.